Could the oil you're using in your kitchen have toxins that cause cancer? And which cooking oils can actually help to prevent cancer? Today I'm going over the types of cooking oil that every cancer survivor needs to be using and which ones should be tossed out immediately. And stick around to the end because I'll also be going over the best types of oil to use for deep frying that won't compromise your health. Most cancer survivors naturally want to eat more foods that will help to keep cancer away, but they often overlook the oils they're cooking with. The oil you cook with can actually make a big difference in your health. You see, some oils can lower inflammation in your body, and others can fuel it. A lot of common cooking oils create inflammation because they're full of unhealthy fats and additives, and when we cook with them, they release even more harmful toxins that can cause cancer. Cancer cells love inflammation, so choosing an oil that lowers inflammation rather than causing it is something simple you can do to try to prevent cancer or keep it from coming back. I know how hard it can be to sort through all of the conflicting health advice out there, so I'm here to help you get a bit more clarity and save you from buying the wrong type of oil. The problem is there are billions of dollars spent in advertising to make some very unhealthy oils sound healthy. Take canola oil, for example. Although you'll find food manufacturers saying it's healthy, that it's good for your brain and your heart, but when you look at the research, that's not the case at all. Most canola oil is genetically modified and heavily refined. It'll raise the inflammation levels in your blood, which again is one of the biggest drivers for cancer. So sometimes our good intentions can lead us to make unhealthy decisions if we've been fed false information. It's super frustrating, and it's really hard to know the truth about what's healthy and what's not. So hopefully by the end of this video you have a better understanding of which oils you should avoid at all costs and which oils are the best for lowering inflammation and preventing cancer. I'll also give you an update on the latest recommendations for saturated fat and how it's actually not as bad for us as we once thought. But I want to start off with the absolute worst oil to cook with, and I actually tell my patients to throw it out immediately if they have it in their house. Usually I'm all about saving money, so I would say go ahead and finish it, but don't buy it again. But this one is so horrible for you. It's called Crisco. It's made from a blend of soybean oil and fully hydrogenated palm oil, so it's loaded with trans fats. Trans fats have a chemical structure that our bodies don't recognize, so they create free radicals and oxidative stress that can lead to cancer. And you'll find them in a lot of processed foods like microwave popcorn, margarine, frozen dinners, and most fried foods. But you can avoid buying foods with trans fats just by reading the ingredient label. They're often listed as hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oil. So those are the worst types of oils for you, but unfortunately they're not the only ones that are bad, and here's where it gets a bit confusing. Some oils that are made from vegetables or seeds are actually very healthy, but then others are not. It really depends on the nutrients they contain and how they're made. For example, some of the worst ones are corn oil, soybean oil, or cottonseed oil because they're highly processed and genetically modified. And these are in everything from salad dressings to muffins. In fact, over 90% of processed foods contains one of these oils or something similar. You see, these are made using high heat and chemicals and bleach, which not only strips away all of their nutrients, but also creates harmful toxins in them. So when you cook with them, they release these toxic chemicals called aldehydes that can lead to cancer. So let's quickly recap what we know so far. The most common oils on the market that you need to stay away from are Crisco, canola, vegetable, soybean, corn, and cottonseed oils. Now let's get into the best types of oil for cancer survivors that can actually lower inflammation in your body. Again, not all seed or vegetable oils are bad. First off, I'm sure I don't need to tell you how healthy olive oil is, but what I will say is that it is the best oil for cancer prevention. In fact, a massive study done a couple of years ago found that people who consumed olive oil regularly were 31% less likely to develop cancer. That's huge. This is because it's loaded with antioxidants and healthy monosaturated fats that will not only lower inflammation, but it will also protect your cells from those free radicals that can lead to cancer. Now, it may be a bit more expensive, but if you can find extra virgin olive oil that is cold pressed or unrefined, it'll usually say it right on the label, these will have the highest nutritional value and the least amount of processing. Okay, examples of healthy seed oils are flaxseed, hemp seed, or chia seed because they're high in omega-3 fatty acids that lower inflammation. Omega-3s are also really important for your hormones, brain, nerve, and heart health, especially for cancer survivors who often have a higher risk of getting heart disease after chemotherapy or radiation treatment to the chest. But the omega-3s in flaxseed oil especially can help lower your cholesterol levels and your blood pressure. Okay, now we have to talk about something really important because although these oils are healthy at room temperature, not all of them are safe to cook with. You always want to avoid cooking with oils that have a low smoke point. Even at low temperatures, some oils start to break down and form harmful things like free radicals or toxins. For example, although flaxseed and hemp seed oil are really good for you, they have low smoke points, so they're best used in salad dressings. But olive oil, chia seed oil, and avocado oil are 3 examples of healthy oils that have high smoke points, so they're safe to use for cooking. I personally cook mostly with avocado oil because avocados are one of the top cancer-fighting foods on the planet. And avocado oil has powerful antioxidants that not only lower inflammation, but they strengthen your immune system and support your heart health. And the best thing about these healthy oils is that they help you absorb the nutrients from the foods that you eat them with. For example, if you use avocado oil to cook your eggs, it'll help you absorb more of the vitamin D from the eggs. Or if you eat olive oil with your tomatoes, you'll absorb more lycopene from them. Obviously, you want to do everything you can to beat cancer or keep it from coming back. And you'd be surprised by how much making small changes, like switching up your cooking oils, can make a big difference. Now let's get into the healthiest oils you can use for deep frying. Obviously, you want to use one with a high smoke point, but one that's also healthy. So here are my top 2 picks for deep frying. Number 1, ghee. It has one of the highest smoke points of 482 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has several anti-cancer properties. It's high in antioxidants, lowers inflammation, and promotes a healthy gut microbiome. Ghee does contain saturated fat, however, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'll get into this more in a minute. But the second type of oil that is safe for deep frying is avocado oil. It has an even higher smoke point than ghee of around 520 degrees Fahrenheit. And as I mentioned earlier, since avocado oil has so many health benefits for cancer survivors, this is my number 1 top pick for a cooking oil that is safe for baking, deep frying, or eating raw on a salad. Now, as promised, I want to get into what the latest researchers are saying about saturated fats. I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times that saturated fat is bad because it'll raise your cholesterol and cause heart disease or cancer, but that's actually outdated information. We now know that not all saturated fat is bad, and it really depends on where it comes from. So the saturated fats that come from whole foods, like pure coconut oil for example, they're not highly processed, so they're much healthier than the saturated fats found in processed foods like pastries or french fries. Those are the ones that will block your arteries and cause inflammation and cancer. Coconut oil is actually about 90% saturated fat, and this is why it gets a bad name. But according to the latest research, coconut oil is actually very healthy. People living in the South Pacific that have been eating it regularly for thousands of years have a much lower incidence of cancer and heart disease than we do here in North America. Coconut oil has a ton of health benefits. It raises your HDL, which is the good type of cholesterol, and it contains a unique type of saturated fat called MCT that can boost your metabolism, reverse insulin resistance, and improves brain function. So although a lot of websites, even I think the American Heart Association, still have outdated information warning you to stay away from coconut oil and saturated fat, if we put our skeptical glasses on and dig a little bit deeper into the research, we'll find that it's no longer the case. So to recap on the healthiest oils for cancer survivors, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, ghee, and chia seed oil are all safe to cook with even at high temperatures and are great for lowering inflammation. Flaxseed and hemp seed oils also have a lot of health benefits for cancer survivors, but you'll want to use them only at room temperature because of their low smoke points. I'm leaving you with another important video to watch next on 5 things to avoid after cancer, and I'll see you next time.